as a lead into why we're here today, last year we had this little event called Hurricane Sandy that certainly played some havoc on our area. And while we were aware of the hurricane coming through, one of the things that as an organization, and I think many organizations did, we began to prepare for our home turf and what we were expecting could potentially occur. And while that was going, obviously the coastline in New Jersey and New York were preparing for what was going to be much more significant than what we were going to have occurring here. And once that main eye of the storm passed through, and we recognized that locally here we were not going to be impacted as we had anticipated, the efforts began to ramp up through an EMAC request, which is a request that goes from state to state, gets authorized for deployment assets to be moved from one state to another state as a resource. Well, we began the reach out process at the state level, and the Bureau of EMS through the regional councils began to activate the task force. And the task force is, for us, is South Central Pennsylvania, the 8 counties that exist within South Central Pennsylvania. We're a participant at many levels within that, but Janet is actually the Lebanon Dauphin County coordinator for our EMS strike team in South Central Pennsylvania. And this is one of many of our deployments. This deployment ended up in 3 phases. So we have some individuals that attended had been deployed for the first phase, which was in the initial evacuation activities and some of the rescue efforts that occurred in New Jersey. And our focus of operations was the state of New Jersey. There was a second deployment that our regional council did not participate in, and then a third deployment that finalized a 3-week deployment. Actually, it was probably a little longer than 3 weeks. That deployment was for 5 days. And we had operations pretty much from the north to the south of New Jersey along the coastline. And we were doing efforts, as an example, backfilling the 911 system, running 911 calls in New Jersey. We were doing evacuation efforts. We were transferring folks from fixed facilities to other fixed facilities more inland. We were doing well-being checks where we were going door to door, just checking on individuals who've been with loss of power for many days. We were doing standby efforts. One of the things that, obviously the infrastructure was devastated in New Jersey, and as they began to bring that infrastructure up, there was a need to stand by for electrical workers as they're bringing power back up. So we did a kind of a plethora of things while we were there. I think we stayed in some not some fun conditions. Many places we didn't have power, we didn't have regular hot meals, but certainly we're extremely proud of the effort. First Aid participated in 2 of those deployments, the first one and the third one. A total of 8 of our staff members were deployed throughout that process, acting in the position of providers, and I had the opportunity to be a team leader for the 5 ambulances that deployed on the second deployment. So through the regional council, we have honor bars to be presented, and they're bars that we wear with pride, knowing that we had been on the deployment. And we also reached out to the commissioners just to ask you to show some support.
And I'd like to say on behalf of the Federation, again, we're the regional council for 8 counties. This is our second trip to New Jersey as a Pennsylvania EMS strike team, and our reputation there is very, very good. They are screaming for Pennsylvania teams early on when they're in trouble. They're always very grateful to us. I could tell you that the team that comes from Lebanon are the best of the best. I would go anywhere with this group. I mean, they're professional, and the conditions are not always wonderful, and they just maintain their professionalism and do the job. You can be very, very proud. You've got some great representation from your area.
Thank them for their service here and abroad.
There are 2 that are not here currently. Jason Motter and Judd Howdy-Chow are out doing what we do, which is why they're not here.
Switch places on
you doing the bars?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
David Hall.
Thank you.
Dave's claim to fame was that one of our ambulances ended up in Governor Christie's motorcade during one of his press conferences.
Jason Motter. Is Bryan Smith here?
Yeah.
Bryan, congratulations and thank you for your service.
And Michael Ferdig.
Congratulations and thank you.
Michael, pleasure and thank you for your service.
Gary Verna.
Congratulations.
Gary.
Good luck for governor.
Oh, well, thank you. So that was it.
Kara Summers.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.